Well, welcome, Kim, and thanks for attending. For those who don't know, this is Kim Turner from Kim Turner Real Estate. Kim's been on a journey with real estate probably nearly as long as what I have, nearly 20 years, but has got a very, very interesting story. And thank you so much for joining us, Kim. How are you going?
Hey, Ryan. Good and really well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really good. So tell us right from the beginning, because you had a really interesting start, went sort of straight up and natural born salesperson and great communicator, great, lister, and just smacked it. So tell us about your first kind of year in real estate, first couple of years.
Yeah, sure. Okay. It's going back a few years now. 2003, I think we had the Bali bombing. I had a furniture business. I chucked the towel in, joined the army, came out of full-time training. It wasn't as bad as we thought. Joined the Army Reserves and stayed on as a reservist. But I was looking around. I've always been in sales, good at selling. It suited me well. I thought, geez, why not try real estate? Saw it out in the paper for professionals, commercial and general in the city. Oh, let's give that a shot. Got the job. Got into the office. A typical office back then, no commission, no support, no help. There's your desk, bring us some money in. Right, okay. Anyway, I made good friends within the office and started getting some help. A mate of mine, Phil, let me help him buy his first property in Oakford. And then started to get a bit of a feel. I think I got my first listing at a nightclub, and all of a sudden, for the first 6 months, I made no money, right? But in the next 6 months, I managed to find my feet and start listing, meeting, talking to people about property without having any clue what I was doing. The enthusiasm was there, and I won rookie in my first year. I couldn't believe it. I think I only earned $68,000, but it was still more than I'd earned anywhere else or anything else I'd done. So I was pretty stoked with that. But the first 6 months was nothing. The second year, for the whole professionals group, not just our office, I came runner-up for master salesperson. I'd never seen the income like that. It was just phenomenal. I think the offer, I was listing 4 or 5 properties a week, and it was just unreal. The office gave me a PA. I had all the support. I still struggle with my spelling and writing. It's my weakest area, I suppose. But they took that off me and took care of all of that. And the admin support was there. So I was free to just list and sell. And I went hell for leather. It was fantastic. And we started going into that 2005 era where all you had to do was list and the properties would sell themselves. So it was a great opportunity. By the third year, I became master salesperson for the professionals group, and I was just winning award after award, quarterly breakfast. But that year, it was almost embarrassing walking out with this haul, even a car. They even gave me a car, right? And I was in the paper of the Sunday Times. My family was so proud of me, and a couple of things happened though in that period. After that, such a high. What a high. You think it's going to go on forever. The office I was working in sort of collapsed. There was a family business where things changed at the helm. There was a divorce there, and one owner went off in a different direction, and the other one sort of left the industry. And I invested in a development site in Geraldton with all the money I'd made, and I won't go on too much about that, but suffice to say, I thought, we can always come back to real estate. I'll go up there. I've always wanted a pub. So this place had a pub and a caravan site and a tent site and rooms. So I went up and ran the resort for the consortium of us that had brought it, and I did a really good job. We tripled the turnover.
You left real estate at that point?
Yeah.
So what made you were doing so well? So obviously the office came to an end. You didn't think of going to another office, or had you had enough, or what happened there were you just going at such a pace? What happened? I know you're a shiny objects guy, and let's be really clear for the viewers, because a lot of real estate agents are shiny objects guys. And so for the viewers, what is a shiny object? We're always looking for the next best thing that's going to make us a buck. Yeah. So we tend to be jack of all trades, master of none, because we don't stay focused on one activity and task, and of course, one career path. So we're always jumping to and from. So that's pretty much shiny object syndrome for those who don't know. And Kim is afflicted by this disease, as I have been, and have learned over the years to stay away from shiny objects. But tell us, so was it a shiny object?
Oh my God, this was the shiniest object you could possibly imagine. 5 acres on the beach. I love surfing. I love water. You know, I when I was 18, 19 and 20, I was one of the youngest publicans. You know, I walked into Ziggy's on my holidays, worked for 2 weeks for nothing, got trained up as a manager. And before I knew it, I was managing the Foxy Lady Hotel in the city. I was working in the Cottesloe Beer Garden on the weekends for free because I just loved counting the money at the end of the night. And I just loved hospitality. But I only left hospitality because the money was really crap back then. And I wanted to buy a house with my girlfriend. So I kind of, otherwise I would say I would have thought I'd stay in hospitality. And then when this opportunity later in life came up, where I was a part owner of a motel, hotel, pub on the beach in this country town, Geraldton, it was too shiny. And I thought, okay, real estate, this is really easy. You know, if it doesn't work out, I could probably always come back and whatnot. Yeah. I didn't realize the momentum I'd had and the success. You know, you just take things for granted. And, you know, maybe I should have had a coach back then, who knows? But I did have a lot of people telling me, you know, like the boss of professionals, he was fuming. He was like, you can't. And in fact, he did everything in his power to try and continuously get me back. But by that stage, he'd opened up his Orange Tea or another brand, which wasn't very attractive. So after about 8 months or 12 months, then, you know, the consortium, you know, the land development side of the business started looking like it wasn't going to happen. The GFC started happening, and you know, and also my partner Natalie, she was pregnant, heavily pregnant, and had just moved over from London, and from London to Perth, and then to take her up to Geraldton. That was a mistake on its own. Let's just say that. So I got drawn back to Perth and opened up Professionals Perth in the city. I just went, Halfa, this is easy. He's not long.
So what happened there? Like, did the whole thing go belly up, or how did you get out of it, or was there, you know, how did that come to an end?
Well, the whole idea was we were going to develop it.
And that didn't happen.
And unfortunately, we had a massive DA approval. I think we paid $5.5 for the site. The vision was there. We got a DA approval. We had a valuation come in at like 13 mil. Then the GSE kicks in, right? And we had to get pre-sales on stage 1 of the development, and nothing was selling anywhere. And Geraldton's very cyclical. All of a sudden, it's going up, and Oakford's going to happen. Oakajee, and then Oakajee's not happening. GFC's coming. No, you couldn't sell one of the villas in stage 1. So it just, as quick as it went up in value, it went down in value, like in a heartbeat. And we're not. I'm not a developer, but I thought it was really easy, and it was just, like I say, really shiny object. So. The reality of it was my yearning for sales to get back to selling was growing in the background while I'm up there and, you know, serving beer, pulling pints as well. And the wifey was saying, let's get back. So at that stage, it hadn't gone pear-shaped, but it certainly wasn't looking as good as it was to start with. Reality, I guess, was kicking in. But the business was running well. And we ended up hanging on to it for a good 18 months before it was more or less sold to the next guy who is currently selling the site anyway, and he's lost I think we lost $1 million as a collective, but that happened 18 months down from there. I'd come back to Perth and saw the opportunity to I love the professionals group, right? Like they're just a really supportive. It's not a franchise; it's a marketing consortium. So you pay a fee, and then they provide you with, you know, quarterly breakfast, regular get-togethers, and it was like they were a family to me. I felt very comfortable with head office and all the other principals. So the opportunity to open, there was an opportunity to open Professionals Perth, and I just jumped on that with both hands. And that went really well. I made a mistake of taking on a business partner or the wrong partner, or I don't know. But I wanted a business partner, and it just didn't work out. And unfortunately, we were 50-50, so I was stalemated. But in hindsight, he paid me out for the rent roll that had grown. So I had a bit of money and I walked down the road, and that's where we met. And,
so So I remember speaking to you prior to us, you joining Real Estate Brilliance and becoming a member a few years back, and you were running a rent roll, and I was just like you're one of the best salespeople, naturally, communicator, and you were running a rent roll, and I was like, I just could not fathom that. Anyway, you came around and ended that sort of project, or that shiny object, and then we met. So talk to us about, you getting on the program, because things were you were at a pretty low point then, and you were doing a lawn mowing round or something that you'd picked up and grown, which was unbelievable. But tell us about that, and then the first year with Real Estate Brilliance to where you are now.
Yeah, sure. Look, I did make a mistake. Well, it wasn't a mistake. At first, being a salesperson, BDM, and listing and selling real estate, bringing on new managements isn't very much different. But when you, unfortunately, what happened was I built up 180 properties in the city, and there was an executive sort of mining boom going on. The average it was a very successful rent roll. I saw that opportunity. I'd done a course while I was with Professionals Perth on building rent rolls, and it was a shiny object. And I went for it, and the sales side of me absolutely kicked ass. The back end side of it, you've got to swim in your own lanes, and I had no idea how to manage properties, really. I just thought I could throw lots of money at really good property managers and they would do it, but it didn't work out that way. But it did give us a really good lifestyle for 4 or 5 years, and really good at doing bog laps around Roto, to put it that way. But it all went pear-shaped in the end, or died off to a certain degree. The rents that were 900 became 450. Government laws changed, and I ended up selling it to a local guy in Applecross, the rent roll, and paid all my tax and my bills, and still had a bit of tax, I to be honest. So it wasn't a great result. What I should have done is just kept doing sales, and that's hindsight. Anyway, I was a bit burnt out by being forced into that back end and doing something that you're not made to do, like trust accounting and property management. It's just not my forte. Really, it fried me, and it sent me into a bit of a dark period in my life, really. So I left after selling the rent roll to the person in Applecross, the company in Applecross. I stayed there while all the properties transitioned, made sure my clients were happy, which was great, because it's really important to care about your customers and your clients. And I've had a relationship with them for 4 or 5 years, managing their properties, and they're very happy. Anyway, after that was done, I wanted a break. So I walked away and started a commercial lawn mowing business, and no problem getting the work. No problem, but all of a sudden I'm doing 60. You could only mow so many lawns, you know what I mean? And then I sold that after 12 months and made a nice, I ended up making 150 grand, 60, 70K for the sale of the round, and 60 or 70K worth of, and I listened to, while I was mowing, I listened to probably 80 audio books in that 12 months. And I got my head back in the right space. Then I looked you up. I said, right, let's do it again. Let's go. I'm going to get back into real estate sales. I'm ready. And here we are. And mate, you're not going to stop. You're going to stop me from picking up shiny objects, I hope.
Oh, well, that's the plan, mate. That's the plan. So you had you're back into it now. You sort of looked at a few different options, whether to go for a high commission model. We looked at that together, and we settled on Kim Turner Real Estate because we felt that being a Perth boy, born and bred these areas, that was going to be your biggest asset. But also we decided that you wanted something that nobody could take away from you, because obviously you've had so many businesses ripped away from you or crash and burn when you've built them up, that we decided, no, this is it, Kim. And you've done an amazing job. So you've set up a little office. You've worked from home for about 12 months. Set up a little office which is just opened in the Mount Pleasant area, and that's going great guns. And you're doing some enormous sales at the moment. Had your best month in real estate ever. Was it last month?
Not last month, the month before. Yeah.
What did you write? What did you write just that month?
150 something. Okay,
in
150
in gross commission, which was huge.
Yeah.
And no, you're doing an amazing job, and you've been a bit misunderstood, mate. But because you've moved around a bit and followed those shiny objects, obviously, people. But I've known you for a very long time. I knew you in the early days when we used to do some auctions together, and work on a few exotic listings that you used to get. But you're an incredible connector with people. Your sphere of influence, mate, is probably one of the biggest I know. If you mention something, you could get on someone on the phone to say, look, I know someone who can sort that out, or know someone. You've got probably the biggest sphere of influence that I know, and you're probably one of the best listers that I've ever known. But obviously, you needed to work on, and we're still working on it, on your management skills, and of course your processing skills, and even your entrepreneurial skills, because you're a true born salesperson, and you're so good at that. And we wanted to keep you doing that, but we wanted to build those other skill sets for you. And I think we're doing that pretty well. You've now been with us for a couple of years, and it's going great guns. So how's things going for you at the moment? Tell us where, what, obviously sales is still your strong point, where your challenges at the moment.
First, thanks, Ryan. That's some pretty, coming from you, that's pretty cool. So thanks, really appreciate it.
Truth, mate, it's the truth.
Okay, so start setting up the office. That's it's a distraction. It's time consuming, and so my biggest challenge is, I guess my biggest strength, is I can get on the phone and generate, no problem, an appraisal, and but I've been pulled away with it. The most important thing for me to do is to do the appraisals, and make the phone calls, get the appraisals, convert the appraisals, and then list to last sort of thing. As long as you're servicing and communicating with your vendors, they're going to stay with you. They might be overpriced. All the stuff I'm learning from you, ABCs. But yeah, the biggest thing is we've had a pretty shit month. What's going on there? Well, shit, I haven't made the phone calls, I haven't done the appraisals, and I haven't put on the listings. And so the bell went up. It's like, staff team, look, I'm back on the phone, and that's going to be and will continue to be the most important thing.
So learning once again that you've got to stay in your own lane, stick to what's important, which is what you're good at, which is prospecting, listing, and selling, and then dividing your time with the office and your staff to be able to get them to follow the systems and manage the business so that you can, do well. So how has Real Estate Brilliance helped you, mate?
You're 100% right. Staying in the terminology, you've got to stay in the lanes that you're strong at swimming in. 100%. It's so important, and it's so easily, especially for me, to go swimming in the wrong lane, but you can't do everything, and you've got to realize that. But yeah, how does Real Estate Brilliance, mate, it's given me the confidence to go out as Kim Turner Real Estate. On your own, it's lonely, and as I said, it was great being part of the professionals group, but you've got someone to call if it goes pear-shaped or you need some advice. So being able to reach out to you and go, what would you do? This has happened. What? So confidence and confidence is such a huge thing that if I could go back and see myself, and I tell my kids all the time, if I could go back and see myself at your age, I'd be just telling myself to be more confident, So confidence. So thank you for that. It's one of the biggest things that we get from being a part of the group, I think, or I do anyway. And then, of course, now that we've got the office, systems, resources, a track to follow. We don't have to invent anything. It's all there. It's just a matter of implementing it. And, it's going to take time to do that and get those things in place. But it's so the systems, procedures, the energy, the support, the family.
Beautiful, mate. And you've done amazingly well, I think. And, certainly, I think the great thing about you, Kim, as well is, yeah, you did, you know, reach some lows, and you've definitely reached some highs, but you've never left anyone out in the lurch. So, you know, you've any money that you've you know, you've been borrowed, or that you haven't, you know, sort of you know, paid, you've paid everybody back, and you're back on track, and you're doing your thing, and that's commendable. You know, you didn't run away from your responsibilities, you didn't shirk them, you backed yourself, and you back at it, and you're a true example of just not giving up. You know, and you know, we haven't quite reached that. Yes, you're a successful salesperson, and yes, you live in a great suburb, and you know, you've got a beautiful family, and you're a great dad, which are probably the most important things. And your best is yet to come. But what you've had to endure over the last 20 years would have probably put anyone, or a lot of people, in a day job. And for you, it just wasn't an option. And even though we've had to help you and drag you through a couple of hedges, mate, you've stuck with it. And it's really inspiring for me as your coach to see you, you know, the rises and falls, and then the rises again, and just to see you rising again is a big sort of, you know, kudos to you, mate. So last thing, mate, what would you say to agents who have hit the wall, who have burnt out perhaps, or who have, you know, who have no direction, or can't go to the next level? What would you say to them?
Well, have faith. Have confidence in yourself, back yourself. It is, you know, it is possible to it's so easy to swim off in the wrong lanes. Go back to the basics. It isn't rocket science. It is, you know, go back to what was working for you. Think about it, slow down, and hey, if you have to, have a break. If you're burnt out, if you're fried, get help. Get, you know, what is help? Help is not anything other than having the right people to talk to, and you know, nurture yourself with the right books and podcasts, and it's all there. So take a break, step back, and don't beat yourself up. Just
so personal professional development. You know, when you were, you know, riding that ride on lawnmower and doing those things, you were listening to something all the time, building yourself back up. Building your confidence, and you know, believing in yourself. That was huge. Getting the help that you need as far as, you know, your coaching, your training, your systems were concerned, and not being scared to, I mean, you've said to me, you know, a number of times, mate, I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do, and I'll just do it. So being, you know, one of the biggest things that I find with people is they're scared to say that they don't know. And it's just, there's actually a psychological name for it. I can't think of what it is now, but it's something to do with we actually mentally, psychologically build ourselves up better than what we are, because we don't want the reality that we don't know what we should know. It's pretty bizarre. I've studied it. It's incredible. But you know, you certainly have reached out. So huge hat off to you there. And mate, you're doing really well.
But one thing, you can't lie to yourself. You can lie to other people. You'll get away with it probably. But one thing you can't do is you can't lie to yourself. There is a consequence for that, and you will pay that price. So be honest with yourself, listen to yourself, and just stay positive. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah.
Great stuff, mate. Beautiful words of wisdom there. Thanks, Kim. It's been great working with you, and we look forward to getting Kim Turner as a household name throughout the whole of the southern suburbs. And so where to? What is the ultimate goal, mate? Where to from here? So you've got the one office. Obviously, we've still got a way to go before that is, you know, at its prime. Have you got any thoughts moving forward from that, or is that kind of the focus for now?
Oh, look, my goals are pretty clear, and you know, I've got a pretty cool little a set of habits now happening in the morning, and I write my goals down daily. And something I've started doing is adding the what's one thing you could do? Just, you know, what's one thing I could do today getting a step closer to that. But my goals in real estate are very clear. I want to nurture the staff to build a property management rent roll. We're up to number 20. We've got 20 managements, which is I'm stoked with that. I'm certainly not in a rush to grow it. I've got a part-time property manager who's paid per management, and she's doing a fantastic job, and they know that that's the right people in the right place to do that. But I want to write $500,000 over the next the goal was 500,000. We're well and truly on track for that in the first year, $1 million in the second. And I want to be a top 100 agent as soon as possible. And I've given myself a time frame to do that within 5 years. But I also want to be able to drop my kids off at school if I need to, pick them up, go to carnivals. So my goal is to stop listing in Geraldton and Albany and
Northern.
Yeah, and Northern, and bring it down. That was the York Flour Mill.
The York Flour Mill we sold. Yeah, that was awesome.
He still rings me and goes, geez, you guys did a good job. He's so happy.
But that's the most exotic listing I've ever sold, let alone you. It was amazing.
Well, you've given us a system, right, to work a suburb, to work a patch. And so that's my goal. If I could have 99 or 95% of my stock within QE of the office.
Yeah, that's where the money is.
That will give me the lifestyle. That's the goal. So I'm going to keep working with you, and we're going to get there together.
Sounds good, mate. Thank you so much, Kim. Really appreciate it, and love your work. Keep it up.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.